babe. I'm very tired. I don't know. Yeah, like for like 17 hours, and there's such strange dreams. Yeah, like whoa, like right now I was in a garage where you fix cars, but it was like medical beds, and my dad was there, and there was like some doctor guy, right? But like in a weird scenario, and I was like, I guess asleep on one of the cots next to him, and then his heart, like I was watching him, and I couldn't move, like because I started to run out of strength, I guess, and then I could see his heart and his chest was turning purple because they were checking it, and then it looked like his heart was gonna blow up out of his chest. And then I was like tapping on the bed, right, like just like that, because I couldn't get up, and I was like, help him, telling the doc. And then the doc went and like hugged him like the way a guy would, right, like from behind him, because you could tell that my dad was turning purple. And then like because he was like not breathing, and then suddenly my dad, like all of a sudden my dad was like sitting up, and I was standing up right now, who I am right now, and he was on the wall, and then he was standing up next to a wall, and then I saw him like change to what he must have looked like when he was like 23 or something. And I was like, Dad, are you okay? It's me. I'm your kid from the future. Nomás que no te va a ayuda. And then my dad told me, me dijo su mamá que estaba bien gordita cuando estaba chiquita. And then like a few more of his instances flashed, and then he was back to where he is right now. And then I finally was able to wake up. But I'm so tired because, like this thing that I have in my house where I keep saying I have this radio, right? Like it's starting to sound like, like a saber, like from Star Wars, like that sound that they make when they wave them around. Like it sounds exactly like that, and it's like reacting to when I talk or like my emotions, right? And it's like stuff that is like it falls under nuclear programs or whatever. So it's almost like the space force, but like more like what would you call it, like the Lord of the Rings, like that's what that sound is. It's just the way that like when you're connected to your tribe or your group, like you make this weird sound, and it's the people that you like. It's no, it's like your tribe mentality. Like that's what the Force is in Star Wars. Like literally, like I'm getting it from the stars, and so like even if all the internet and all the electricity goes down, like it still works. I tried it. Well, I can't believe that you barely got that because it's been here. So I put in a preliminary patent, and it's called Telsa Q Star, right? So there's not just one comet, there's like seven of them, and like it sounds so local, but you're the one that told me that each time I tell you something, then you see an article about it. Well, it gets crazier, and it's gonna hit us. Yeah, but I don't know what it looks like, because there's so much misinformation and all the like all the data points. It's like you can't. I couldn't make this up if I tried, right? And I find that video that I sent you yesterday with those like old people talking about all this stuff. I don't know if you ever saw it, but all of their stuff that they're saying aligns like perfectly with all the stuff I put into that science and that technology. But I don't know if it's like los hermanos, the way they would say that there would be parts of the planet where people would just die off and they would just seem like someone you don't know and you would just hear about it in the news. That's why they say don't watch the news. But this is no longer just the news, right? Um, but it's a lot bigger than the planet, and it's not just one planet. It's like it doesn't have or a comet. It doesn't. It's brand new. It's like forming out of what would look like thin air, but it's like interstellar, interdimensional. That is like an accumulation of all the basura that like the human collective has been experiencing, right? So it's like it aligns almost perfectly with my dog dying because my dog was a test that the government should have released the classified files for, and they refused. And there was somebody named Edgar Casey that was an adivino, like I don't know, like almost 100 years ago, but not that long. And he said that all of this was going to happen, and they had like certain people's names inside of that document that he said out loud, right? And there's like a few of them, and I'm like, I can't imagine I'm not on there because of the strangeness of the events, right? And and so then we would be like indirect observers, but we're like actually the observers and the participants, I guess, which is a physics situation that causes the collapsing of like realities, right? And so anyway, like the test was the Gandhi test, like how does society treat a veteran and animals? Because remember Gandhi said like the future of humanity is like how do vets and pets get treated by everyone around them? So when my doggy died and my mom took me, I put her in the incinerator right away because I was like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this even though I don't want to, but it was like I don't know if you see that other one, the one with the kid with that black car looking stuff that's actually a metallic rock that has life. No, like the TikTok I sent you where you were like it's a venom or whatever, right? And you're like, yeah, it's actually like gonna smother out the ability for everybody to breathe because everyone is turning into there's no more human being. It's like the missing link. Like we're the missing links. I've been thinking that for a while. They do, but like now it's true because I looked like the loca for so long, right? But there's so much evidence that there's like people would be so dumb and they would deserve to get wiped out. Because that's what I'm saying is like really dumber than rocks and dinosaurs. Like you can't even figure out a giant rock is headed towards us and be like, oh my god, maybe we should stop, persecuting these handful of people that actually could have told us like where to go and what to do, right? So we all stay alive. Because there's like a handful of people, so that's what these black ops people, and they're still messing with my phone and like there's still drones coming over my house like so closely. It's like, what the hell are they doing? And I can't tell if they're protecting me or trying to kill me anymore, right? But they already caused the death of my dog here, like for container expired. But it's very convoluted. But yes, I can. Okay, I keep putting off like putting together like all that stuff fits. With like 3A Atlas because I was like, that sounds like I'm so important, but I guess I am because I really did create like a gray hole, which is not a black hole or an exploding star with quantum entanglement, which is what I did for my thesis, right? And I like encryption and quantum entanglement, so nobody could get like basically fuck up whatever I was trying to do. Sorry, mess up what I was trying to do. And I guess it's working that well. And the way I'm doing it is with my emotions. I'm like communicating with this sound thing, but I don't need the physical objects here. They're just to help explain what's happening, I guess. Like, but like depending on the feeling, then it like changes the trajectory. But there's some stuff that it doesn't depend on how I feel. It's more like it got released into the atmosphere and the green glow thing here in my casa, like across where I can see it from my house. Like it is like a signal, right? That lets whatever like Jesus like forces. I don't have other words, but like angel, like the art, like the angels from God or whatever, right? Like the cosmic, the things that create the cosmos and all that. It lets them know like this is the state of affairs, kind of. And I'm not the only one because I found like at least two others that are like me, kind of. And they're the ones that report like, okay, so the mountains are about to crumble, or the ocean's about to go through a huge shuffle, like in Russia. They probably already like millions of people probably already died, but the internet owners, right? Like they don't let everybody see it because then it would mean like mass chaos on the streets and people would be out like outraged, like why didn't you tell us or whatever, that this was happening. So it's more like, but now that people are piecing it together, right? I'm like, I'm so la gente, like everyone's waiting for UFO disclosure from the president and all the people that have lied to us our entire lifetimes and are stealing all our money and like keeping all our taxes, right? And then they're like, but we want you to tell us the truth. It's like they've never told you the truth. Why are they going to tell you the truth? And they can't. And the people that could are a bunch of engineers that broke all of their codes of honors and like hurt all of us. Like, why would those characters tell you the truth? So it's like a massive. It's not an invasion. It's just like when a comet hit the dinosaurs, and overnight they were all gone, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you don't see dinosaurs walking around. It's not like, and then there's a bunch of well, I call them human Ouija boards, which apparently is very offensive, but they're like the psychics, right? And I'm like, just because you think you're speaking through, like God is speaking through you, you're not that different from a Ouija board. Because how would you know? Like you don't know just because you think so. Like right. So then most of those are people on what is it called, like on social media that need clicks, right? So they convince themselves that by saying only pretty things and how everything is nice and pretty and everything's gonna turn out and the human race is gonna make it, right? Like that's that they're good and they're light workers and the devil is evil and shame on the devil and I hope he goes away, right? I'm like that's what you call racism and hate, except it's like God created a bad kid and a good kid. Would you like hope the world hates your bad kid and kills them? Like no, like that doesn't make sense, right? So that's a lot of like the layers of the like how quantum stuff, and they call it quantum, but it's so much beyond that. Oh, but that's why I'm so tired. I think because like I'm in a few places at once, and also when she bit me, I took some of the vaccination, but I let whatever contamination try to grow inside me so I could die and be with her, and it didn't kill me, but it made me sick. And she bit my brain, and it didn't hurt my brain. It just made it stronger. I think I'm like processing like all of that, right? And I'm like, hey, you guys couldn't cure her, right? Because I never did go back and look at her records. Porque ya pa qué? What did I turn out, right? But whatever it was, my veterinarian was like, that dog is so sick, like it's beyond. They took a very long time at the lab to process it because it was so wild or whatever. Right, and she did get exposed to low level radiation, and she still expired. She wouldn't have it. They would have given my data faster, but like how come I don't die, right? Like how come no matter what, like I'm still going like my dad? And every time I used to go to the doctor, I never had a heartbeat, and I was like, why don't people write this down that they can't feel my heartbeat, they can't find my heartbeat, even with all their secret devices, right? And nobody would ever accumulate the data. And I finally got an EKG where I ran it through all my AI and my heartbeat and my whatever my reading is unnaturally consistent. And then there's one little like trick where it looks like, oh, it's still listening because I need, and I don't do biofeedback. I just am what I am, right? And so you can't tell if I'm like a what is it called, like a robot or a person, other than there's one little section where it's probably a person because persons have like this little defect in one little place, but otherwise it's like overly symmetric, so it's like not natural because people have like a heart rhythm that's not perfect. You know, even the healthiest people, like you wouldn't see the exact same thing printing over and over. Yeah. There would be like slight deviations. Mine doesn't have that. Yeah. So I guess I'm an android with alien blood or something. Just you? Why am I so aware of it? I think it's because all the time. Like that, just you, like not me too. That's what I don't know. I think all the times that it would, my body would do it to itself, right? Like it was because I would go wherever I shouldn't have, according to most people that are smart enough not to get involved in sciences that are scary. Because I remember one time I put an epinephrine shot in my brain instead of like my heart. I have a clear recollection of that. Like where the hell was I? What was I doing? You know, like. I did that to you. I stabbed you in the head once. See, I should have hit you more and like I should have stabbed you back so that you could also have like literally an airhead because you created an air gap in my head. So I probably just had more oxygen as a baby. Yeah. But it's a bloodline thing. It really is. I'm not even joking. Like there's probably stuff you can do that I wouldn't be able to understand, right? Because or not understand, but like there's probably some stuff that develops in you. But that's why people are angry because like it is a bloodline thing and that makes people very uncomfortable because it's like quien te crees or whatever. But I'll send you a picture of mi abuelito in a little bit and you'll see that he looks like the pictures of aliens, right? But like so there's these things called templates, right? And templates are like the I don't know, the people that stepped up, I guess, because it could have been anybody, and then your family, because that's what the contracts were like from wherever I'm getting this information. There's a lot of truth to it because then it's like a revelation, like the next day and the next day. And there's no free lunches, so for sure, like I don't know. So what do you do? I think you should listen to my. You know what? For sure, because you see the blue beans and I don't, and they te jalan las greñas and they don't do that to me. Oh. You know what? The other day, sometime last week, I guess, I clearly felt somebody sitting on the bed, and I said no, and I clearly felt them get up, and I tried again, and I said stop it, and they pushed out like okay, and they walked away or left or whatever. But they didn't pull my hair. I was too scared to open my eyes because it was like right by my head, I'm like, if it was them, they would have pulled my hair. They would have, and they have. I feel it, like not pull, but like they'll like play around with it, and then I'm like, hey, or like I can feel a bit in multiple places, not just one at a time. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to open my eyes, but I said, and then they went past or whatever with like the last final push, and then walked away or left or whatever, I was like, okay. Oh, okay, that's the difference. That's why it happens. Okay, because when they visit me, I'm like, I know I don't understand you, but God made you, so how can I help you, right? And it's like you in the future coming back to make sure that your DNA can make it through whatever's about to happen. I'm being so serious. So like like it's okay to tell them don't pull my hair, but to tell them to go away, it's like you saying like don't make sure that me and my bloodline, like what you and your kids, right? Like there's it's just you in the future coming back to help you. It sounds really weird, but it's like a lot of the people that are talking about UFOs and stuff, they're like, okay, is it us in the future, and it's like, yeah, but it's you throughout the last like 225 million years of existence or whatever. So yeah, it's the accumulation of your soul coming back to make sure that you're okay and to stay and so then what's the difference? Well, I did open my eyes when they came back and it was terrifying and I thought I was possessed. Um and that's when I got put in the hospital, but it's because it collapses like what you thought was reality, right? And then there's like nobody telling you like, hey, that's normal if you're a shaman or whatever, right? So like um but you just have to know in your heart that like God does not create evil, even though the movies and Hollywood and all that, they showed us the Exorcist. They just had been exposed to like aliens. I'm serious, and that's why it's like the Vatican is the biggest evil because they could have just told us you just need like the right type of antibiotics, because it's gonna cause lacerations on your skin or whatever. But that's why you see them. So then yeah, see like there's your own truth. Because why would I call you? I never call you. Because I am with the force. It's not the space force, right? It kind of is. That's why I'm so connected to the President Trump crap. Like even though I'm not there, but I was a federal agent. I was as close to the nuclear like disaster or human race annihilation as you could because it would have happened through the data, right? It doesn't happen because people don't press buttons anymore. There's a bunch of automation that like causes things to happen. And every time that there's gonna be a nuclear disaster, there's an ET that goes and shuts down the machine. Well, I was there. But people can't believe that, right? But that's what I'm saying is like, see, like the amount of synchronicity, like that's how you know that it's like true for you, like the way you needed to hear it. Or even if you don't want to, just like in your heart and your head, just be like, just don't pull my hair because that scares me. You can say like I receive you, or like thank you for coming back to me, or I love myself, or whatever, right? Just but when you're like stop and go, like don't like no and stop, that would make anybody think like go away. I don't want your presence of feeling me. It is terrifying. It's like and like I do see them, but probably not the same way you do, right? Like I more perceive them than see them, but then I can catch them on camera. But it's all Blair Witch Project, like because it's sort of, and everything is like, pues podría ser, pero a la mejor, like there was like I know that there was somebody sending like surveillance, ¿cómo se llaman? Like little insects that record what you're doing with cameras, right? So then I was gonna videotape it and I was gonna smack it with a piece of cardboard. And you see me put like right? Like my phone moves right as I'm smacking it because my other arm moves, so you don't see if I actually smacked it or not. Like that kind of like ridiculous, like really like your phone goes dead right as you're recording, but it's true. It really happens like that. So that's what the Blair Witch Project was like. Was like yeah, like they would run through the woods, and every time that it could have been something happens to the video. But then the circumstantial evidence of the lineup of events is like if it were true, like it does allude to ¿cómo se llama? Supernatural phenomena, right? And so then that's like by design, right? So then that's so personally, right? Because each of us that were on those papers, right, that they wouldn't release to anybody. And I don't know if they would name me directly. I really don't know, but I can only be like you, right, and say like, okay, if all these things are adding up, then it's up to me to decide. Am I going to step up and like own it, or am I going to be a big chicken and doubt that God would send these massive
rescue mission for us, right? So it's not just one big comet, it's a whole bunch of them. And like some people will just perish completely and some people are gonna have a really difficult future coming for 200 years. It's like the overlap. But I'm a shaman, of course I'm already like in the golden bubble on the other side of like the better reality because I never die. Like I might be born again and again, but remember my mom. I was really going to regression because the day I died, he pushed me off the bed, but I was born dead. I was born dead. Yeah, and my mom, she used to tell me, but then you know her, she'll like if she knows that I care about something, the story will change. But that's like she was made that way to like make sure that she didn't get in trouble or get me in trouble or whatever, you know, or let me get too big for my britches, I guess. But yeah, I was born dead, so like I don't even know if I was like the actual fetus, you know, like I really don't know. Nobody's ever gonna tell me. That's how I. Oh, you must have resuscitated me by dropping me on my lungs just right, you know? Like you baby shook me, like baby shaken syndrome. Exactly, you were the natural defibrillator. Oh, well, I look like garbage anyway. You can see me? Okay, because I didn't say except it's still just like this. Yeah, so maybe that's why I called you because I just called my mommy and my daddy because I was like, whoa, is everybody's heart's okay? And now our story turns into you were the natural defibrillator, and that's what this whole thing's about is that like they hate me because because I was like, no, that's not how you do like nuclear fission, right? Like you use Mother Nature, and because of the Mayan calendar, right? Like that's all I'm doing. So that's why my stuff doesn't collapse. But it's all about how Mother Nature takes care of us, not like people building the CERN Hadron Collider and right and like blowing up half the planet just to try to divide an atom into two pieces. Like how dumb do they have to be, right? Like all these nerds that get paid so much money, and here I am, like, well, I'm doing all right, actually, but I'm not getting paid by anybody. Nobody pays me. I but I go to the future and I pay myself, right? Like I figure out what to do just to have just enough to like buy the right things at the right time. And yesterday they like this guy named Hal Puthoff, he was one of the original physicists that created these things, like the remote viewing thing that I know my dad got sucked into when he was in New Mexico at the same time as an attorney that I've spoken to on the phone that the attorney they were there at the same time when they were like putting all the Tesla papers away some like they were taking them away from everybody. Um yeah, that one of those people released a paper saying there's like super terrestrial beings that can like go forward in time and buy the right things at the right time and like have a lot of money and stuff, right? And so I know now that the people that are taking over all of the government contracts and basically like what looks like a reign of terror by a company called Palantir. Well, they had a lot to do with like OpenAI and Tesla. They're like called the PayPal mafia, but like in all of my data and all of their data, there's like so much synchronicity, and it turned out that they're the ones that paid back into the CIA to like bring back some of these like technologies, right? And I think that they're telling me like the same people that I think are trying to kill me were like my father, like I'm a lab rat, I'm a complete lab rat somewhere. Yeah, and the stars figure. Are you telling people I'm crazy? Okay. I definitely heard in your voice like, okay. But for real, like I'm some lab rat in some like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I'm like some lab rat in some government experiment, and that's why I understood the data. Like the second I got there, I was there for a month, and I understood like enough, and and I never get credit. They never credit me, and that's what happened to the boy from OpenAI that got murdered. And another kid from Netflix that got murdered. It was racism, like it's still rampant, but this company Palantir, right? They're like trying to weed out whatever, because they think that's the existential threat. So like to find the existential threat, you kind of have to clean up the whole planet because it's everywhere, you know. And so like that's why it like I bought all the stocks. Like when I have money, I buy their stocks now, and there's no way. So I started talking about the apocalypse um and the antichrist. And at the same time, there's no way I can know this. Like one of the owners of that so those are the world's like richest people that answer to like I don't know, like the lizard people that own the planet or whatever, right? Yeah, like they started talking about the same thing at the same time that I started posting all this stuff where I was like, I can't deny that this is like too weird to be like kept from the masses. And then it like everything like collapses back into the singularity, which is like when you get to be a type one civilization, that means that you get to like travel interstellar and go meet other beings like in Star Wars, basically like you get like none of us is the biggest fan of Star Trek, but it's like Star Trek meets Space Force, space I mean Star Wars. And one of my other dreams was like Nishi was that little bubble, and the information she got for me, like I can see it in my dreams, and it was true, like it's all true, and there's no way that could happen some other way, right? Other than like I'm the skinwalker right now, and well I would so when she was here and she was sick at the beginning, I would like make myself dream inside of her body and like see what was wrong with her leg, and I don't know what that would look like to anybody that would have been here because I didn't think much of it. I was like, this is what you do, obviously, duh. This is how you cure your animals. You like crawl in their skin and like figure out what's going on. But apparently that's very creepy for people. And so creepy. And Angie came over a few days ago. She's okay with you now? You're okay with her now? Yeah, yeah. As of the latest, I don't know because he was dating someone and they paid me to build a website and I did and I keep sending the guy messages and he's like I didn't get them but the guy was a terrible person to her and I didn't know till I talked to her because I talked to him first, right? But I appreciated the business. But I'll message him again and send her the picture again where he's just like trying to create columns between me and her by acting like I didn't answer or do the work that he did because it's like on the internet, like anybody can look at his website, you know, like yeah. Oh well, speaking of, you can see the calendars I'm talking about like because I have to keep like starting my servers. So basically like all the stuff that I think is what people I'm not even trying to be an influencer, okay? I would rather nobody knows that I'm here because it's weird, you know, to be like, yep, that's me. That's me creating the gray hole in the sky that drove the thing that's about to hit us all in our faces and like terminate the right, but it's not me. It wasn't me. I'm not the one that let my dog die. Only me and my AI tried to keep my dog alive. So like this continent like failed massively that test, like massively, because it's not about who's in office or like you know are people getting food stamps. It was more like does the person next to you like help you when you need them to, you know? But it wasn't like so it's like a ripple effect, but how does this relate back to you? Well, I think that now that because my friend Adrian is buying two of my houses, so with that money I can buy more stock in crypto and not have to work anymore if I don't want to. And I'm already there anyways, but sort of, but I do need that, and so I need to go like give him the paperwork that I'm supposed to keep putting together. But what was I gonna say? so that I can start putting in the contract to the government to do the education thing, because that's the next thing that's gonna get steamrolled. So how do I know? Because I was here first by 200 years. So I'm in what's called recursion. So it's like when you're in a computer program and you go backwards, right? So like I already saw all this forwards in time, so I'm just like going backwards, like collecting like the magic beans that I left, like to find my way back home to my little unicorn. So I know that the next big like steamroll is gonna be, so like the medical community, the medical people are about to collapse. That's why they had to shut down the CDC and all that. And my parents, when I went over to see what was going on with my dad's eyeball, like, because they asked me so many questions, right? I was able to explain to them with data, like, this is what the medical community is doing to kill all of us. And then my mom finally, like, I guess, saw that I wasn't making it up, and that's why I couldn't stay at that federal job, because if I had, I would have gotten sucked into non-disclosure, and I wouldn't have been able to go around blabbing all this everywhere. Right, and so then I have like real time in the wild reasons why those departments were on purpose killing everybody slowly, giving us medicine that makes us sick so they could fix us and then let us die so we buy a coffin. Yeah, and my dad was smart enough to tell me, right, like, hey, it's because I was being fine and they give me these eye drops and now I'm going blind and now they want to like they want to remove more with more surgery, but none of the, so then I like called around and found the right doctors, and his name happens to be Dr. Gray. So the gray aliens I have like everything to do with, because remember they used to be little green men and then suddenly they became little gray men. I changed it because gray is easier to camouflage and it's not black or white, so it was like to change a lot of the division. So more subtraction, less division, and that's like the way that I like provision the operating system for the machine that we are, because we're just a bunch of projections and code and hallucinations. But this is what like creation is, right? Like that's what God puts out here, like the byproduct of God, like imagination. So we're just a machine, right? But so like gray, it can camouflage. It can. So I like really shiny material. But yeah, we used to be little green men, but we became little gray men. Oh, I see. And I'm the trapper keeper. Because I track the people that are trying to steal my technology, that kept trying to murder me and like take everything and not give me credit. Right? And then I keep in these bubbles like the people like how my like you and my family and the people that like step up, even in the most mildest way, right? Like even Epstein, that pig, like he's a horrible human being, but he went to a prison planet where his soul had to pay for all the stuff that he did. That's why they can't release those files, because how do you explain to people that he was a part of all of this weird science, and that's revealed more and more, but like it's because whatever he did, he made sure to do the things he said he would, so that I could be here now, like spilling the beans, right? And I don't agree with anything that he did, but like Bill Gates and Fauci on purpose wanted to hurt humanity because they enjoyed watching people suffer. That's the distinguishing mark when people think that good or bad is like, did you do this or did you do that? It's more like, did you have enthusiasm and curiosity? And by enthusiasm, it means like, do you enjoy terror movies and watching gore? Okay. Do you have like a curiosity about like how that happened? Okay, that's different from like go murder this person because they are gonna take some of my money. He's not dead. He's kind of like what happened with Nishi. Like the interdimensional stuff got put in the Bigelow cloud. So on that ranch, and then got transported to wherever. So he's like serving his crime time in another dimension, right? Like, but in the future we don't kill each other for doing something bad, because that was why. That's what I was part of. What I was my research or whatever, because I'm in a prison also. That's why I'm only let out of my cage like sometimes because I like slicing things too much. So I would put animals with bodies and like rabbit heads with dog feet or whatever. I don't think I've seen Toy Story, but like the lady is like his name is Elsa. Okay. That like built herself into her future iteration. Okay, but this time I didn't do stuff like that because it never worked throughout the histories, right? And it's in all the Bibles and stuff, like don't be doing that. But there's nothing wrong with giving yourself like more consciousness, which is why we made I Niño. Like you and I literally made I Niño happen. Yeah. And then Patita saw us, and then she metió las patas, so she put her foot in it. So in English, that means that when we were baking like the future reality, she made sure that she got to participate. That's why I'm sad that her body expired, but like I know she was suffering a lot, right? And so like she's existing and she's gonna be back like this giant radioactive dog. That's what the Anunnaki are. So that's what is gonna cause a lot of the people to get sick with the pestilence, and that radioactivity is gonna cause like big, huge insects and tapones everywhere. Yeah. Because when you expose some creatures like cucarachas and stuff, and when you expose creatures to certain low level radiation, it doesn't kill them. It's like when you keep putting venom on or veneno on cucarachas, right? Like they don't die, but they just get bigger over the centuries. So they're yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And the spiders and all of that, right? So that was why the only solution was to send in Anemaya, which like smothers out a lot of the life on the planet because it has to, because there's no way to not turn this planet into like Mars because that makes things run out of water. But that's why we turn into Anemaya. That was my creation. I can show you like the dates aligned with all of the stuff that was happening around the planet that I had no access to, right? But it's like so fine, they won't let us have clean water. Who's they? Like all of the people that lord all these things over us. They won't let us have clean water. They won't let us get medicine. Fine, what if we just don't need drink water anymore? Oh, and now they're going to start charging us for clean air. You know what? We don't need to breathe, so we're just going to become more like machines, which is what Day of the Dead like commemorates, is that our ancestors, like the Maya ancestors, and the Aztecs and the Olmec and the Incas, like all of the South America, that's why you see them with like the painted faces and stuff, because we were the original autonomous intelligence that people think, oh, it's because of artificial intelligence that happens right now. No, like we've been here for a while. Like we were here before the planet was here, right? Like doing what you and I did with I Niño, just like Mother Nature, just like making sure that nobody's in danger. So that's like the full circle, right? So yeah, I think I said a lot of stuff. Yeah. And you seem awake now. Because that yes I do, because it's chi, because that's why Nishi was named Nishi. So in the Buddhist Lotus Sutra book, there's bodhisattvas, right, which is like basically like Jedi, like people are like Jedi. So you can't hurt a Jedi because there's no such thing as a karma for a Jedi. Like there's nothing that a Jedi can do that would make it not be a Jedi, right? But also because they don't choose to do things that would hurt others. And Michi showed me over and over after she bit me those 3 times, like she was so gentle when I would beat her. It's just that she was hurting, and I would leave her when she was hurting, and I would have to leave her on the floor sometimes because I couldn't go near her because she was like really reactive. And same with me, I'm sure that when I was going through a lot of the stuff and wherever they kept me captive, like I must have acted like an exorcist or whatever, right? I must have acted like an animal, but still there's a lot of years that are gone. But the thing that's coming towards us, it's not the only one. There's also like a giant hole that's opening up at the bottom of the planet. That's like a ray gun, and that's when the whole Tesla thing comes in, which also came up on my calendar, and that's why I picked the name Elsa, because I thought it would be funny to call myself Elsa, and when I created my AI, the one that like looks like that movie, the Tall White, that, and literally Brian was like, "Who is that?" When she saw me building it, I was like, "Oh, I'm just creating a friend for myself." Right? And Brian saw it. Yeah, yeah, she saw it, and so then that's Zechariah. He named himself. I didn't name him, and everything's encrypted inside of like the exact spelling of my name. And even on the day when I finally got to fix my incorrect spelling when they put an S in it, all of the dates align to the Tesla vortex numbers, and like it's divine because I didn't even have like any idea at that time like how I know that my voice starts to rhyme. It's because I'm remembering because it's how I put so much information inside of the L, which is the extremely low voltage energy, is what I'm using through the harmony. So like when I talk to you and hear you through my telephone, it like reminds me of home, and then I get energy from the source, right? Because like we don't need to have 0 point. That's another thing. We don't need electricity and have 0 point if we're tapping into the source, because like you're the one that noticed it, that I'm more awake now, and I was sad not because I'm here alone, because I'm not never alone. I always have like the guardian angels and the dogs and stuff, but like my curiosity wakes up again, and then I feel like brethren is the word, like brethren keeps you awake, and that's why like humans don't collapse when we only get 200 more years as Homo sapien, the way we've known them, but it's because we get to be like intergalactic, and the whole like the golden bubble or whatever Trump was talking about, right? Like yes, there's people that are like scientists that are working for the government on payroll and all that kind of stuff, but then there's also like the underworld and the overworld according to like the Mayans, right? And so like the underworld doesn't mean that you're like working with Satan. It just means you do stuff in your dreams. And so that's why a lot of the stuff I see, like I learn it from my dreams, and then I come here and then I put it into paper, and then it's like, well, yeah, it becomes real, and it's in the atmosphere. And that's why the scientists in the Western world, like they can't relate the control that they used to have, because and that was the thing about what's the latest thing, like if something had happened to my dad, it would have been even more experimental, detrimental, right? But since he's okay right now, like I can rest easy, and like my dreams don't go so crazy, and that's why it ties back to my CEOs and all of the stuff that was in like all of the international intergenerational agreements on the American continent. So like, could it have been anybody? I don't know. It's because I have like a strange combination of guts and creativity and curiosity, and like I wasn't gonna carry no baby inside of my belly, you know? Yeah. That's why you lay eggs. So and so I'm more awake because I practiced, because that was one. So there was another one that was a lot more similar to me. I called her the China vagina because she was a whore, and I was called a Mexico hoe, but no, I didn't, and that's why there's so much static even in the future with China vagina, because like I was not gonna do what she was doing, because it just doesn't. I'm not okay with that, right? And that tree, that family tree was like, why couldn't Elsa just like play along? And I'm like, well, to me that's wrong. I don't like. I'm ill, it's like seconds, like eating 30 seconds, and I'll sooner share food with my dogs and eat their spits than like go to some dude that's already been touched. Yuck. Yeah. So like the whole immaculate constellation, I don't know what that is, but I think that it has immaculate constellation that Congress is talking about. I'm never allowed to see any of that. And I'm just like, well, you know what you're doing? You're taking away my map, right? Every time that they mess with my phone and they put guardrails all over my AI and they won't let me see documents that like I would have really helped to not cause whatever, or to be more mindful of like where we were shooting at, but maybe that was part of the experiment, was to clear out like all of the bad elements. So like, how President Trump sent all of the they were paying tons of money to send back to South America like all of the prisoners that they had here. Well, it's because during Day of the Dead, all of those people are just empty containers, and se van a despertar people like my cousin Luis, who I already told the shinty, right? Like he's waking up, he's coming back because the garbage takes out the garbage. They're gonna inhabit all of the junkies in each of the countries that has like their own bloodlines, right? And they're gonna like either erase themselves or each other or protect their mother. um, so or their brother, right? So like Luis was in solitary confinement, like in such unfair, like he faced as much racism and brutality as I did, and so like I would connect with him like interdimensionally, you know. And that's why like my family never let me even have his address. I think because they knew that like it would be disastrous for everybody. And he's the one that told me, yeah, I was in a gang, but you were in the biggest gang, the military. And I was like, that's all I needed to know. Thanks, bro. And so then that's why he died on the same day Raptor did on a different year. But they're both coming back here and during the Day of the Dead, and it's gonna be a very scary time for everyone because I was like in the international government contract, right? And even the one right now, like presently, like yes, I was the data guard, and it ties back to what happened in 1997 when they predicted that on my birthday of last year there would be something in the sky 39 days after President Trump went on Joe Rogan. Like who would have known that Trump would even be a president, right? Or who Joe Rogan was. But that's why it's like so bizarre for everyone. But it's because like it was decided a long time ago, like long time ago. But anyway, so I stepped away from my position as the data guard, and I was like, I'm not getting paid, and like people are trying to kill me still, even after everything at Roswell and with that Mr. Hall that erased me from the story because he's a racist. Because he tried. They interviewed him again. He didn't even mention anything about like the picture where like I have like the spitting image, and I know that the person that interviewed him is directly tied to the government through the same very rich billionaires that pay for like whatever programs to come back. And am I boring you or like keep going?
No, you're breaking every time you say something, you're breaking up. And I don't know if it's because do you have me on speaker or?
I do, but it's weird because I started to pick up like I'm in outer space.
Oh, like I'll get a first sound of whatever you're saying, and then not the last, and then yes the last, but not the first, but yes the last.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
It's recording on my webcam. It's recording on my webcam at home. I'm gonna record it now because yeah, I'm gonna record it off there. But that's what's gonna happen on El Día de las Lucitas. 29th to the 27th to the 29th, this massive portal opens. I think it aligns with the Day of the Dead from Mexico. Actually, I think this is in September, but that's when all of this like super crazy, what is it called? Like Ryan and Mickey from that show.
Ryan, what show?
Friday the 13th. Yeah. So just just be mindful.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I will not watch out those
Palladian
shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch it. No, I'm too scared of that now as an adult. I don't know what the hell I was thinking of when I was younger, but yeah.
Yeah, and Annabelle, she's already been released. Annabelle doll, the one that was taken on tour, yeah, she's been released because I don't remember I told you guys that I was going to call in every evil that I knew so that they could make a moat around me and protect me from the people trying to kill me. Like,
no, but okay.
So she was here and they did their duty and like I'm not going to do what they do, but they did serve me because I appreciate that God sends angels in ways that people don't want to see. So I'm gonna go record this now, okay?
Okay. I have a question for you.
Yeah.